Welcome to Morning Listeners. This is Nilima KS, and today we are bringing to you an interview session with Miss Anita Perry. Morning Listeners is an online magazine dedicated to women. It showcases various articles, personal life stories, and interview sessions on different matters concerning women. And today, our interviewee, Miss Anita, happens to be the founder of Yoga Anita, an author, educator, yogi, and blogger. She has helped people for more than 44 years in this very field of health and fitness. So let us welcome our interviewee. Hello, Anita.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Excellent, thank you.
So, since you're on board with morning listeners, well, we'll begin from the morning itself. So, how do you normally begin your mornings? Do you practice yoga every day in the morning?
I do practice yoga. Sometimes I don't practice the physical part of yoga, but every morning when I wake up, I always make sure that I do something that in gratitude, knowing that I am on another day on this earth.
That's great. So, what made you smile today?
What made me smile today is sitting right here with me. Here she is.
That's great.
She makes me smile every day. My dog.
What did you have on your breakfast platter today?
On my breakfast platter today. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. My breakfast platter, every day I have oatmeal and a little bit of bran and a cup of tea. That's my everyday breakfast.
Sounds good. Now, since the new year is around the corner, what are your upcoming plans for this year's upcoming new year?
New Year to me is not, I don't set goals on New Year. I set goals in the spring. That's my time to set goals. So New Year is the time for me to reassess how the past year went, and to see if there's any place that I could do better.
That's great. Now, let's move on to some questions about your profession as a yoga teacher. So, tell us something about Yoga Anita.
Well, Yoga Anita, I started, more than 40 years ago. Originally, I was a aerobics instructor, and during my training in aerobics, I had to train to also do yoga as well as part of my training. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, because being an aerobics instructor, everything was very fast paced, and that's what I wanted is that cardio, and sitting there and being quiet and doing shavasana was not for me. I did not like it. I had to do it, but I didn't like doing it. And it's a story that I share with my students, because some students come to me and they're not ready for yoga. They're not ready for to be quiet, to listen to themselves, and so I share that story with them, that sometimes it takes time to be still and listen to that voice inside of you.
Right, that sounds very spiritual. So, how did you come about establishing Yoga Anita?
So what I did is, after a while of doing aerobics, your body just can't take it, after a while. And so I needed something for me, because I kept getting repetitive stress injuries. And so when I was ready, yoga came to me. My teacher came to me, and that's what they always say: when the student is ready, the teacher comes. I met my teacher, and I was ready to be quiet. I was ready to listen to that voice inside of me. And I've been doing yoga ever since.
That sounds great. So, were you a fitness enthusiast from the very beginning itself, or was there any particular factor that perhaps attracted you towards to start doing yoga more, or to start doing more fitness exercises or meditations?
You broke up with your question, broke up right there. So I'm going to have you repeat it. I can also get the questions up.
Sure, no problem. So, what made you actually start doing yoga? Were you a fitness enthusiast from the very beginning itself?
So what made me start doing yoga, like I said, is I was doing cardio, and I kept getting repetitive stress injuries. And I needed something to heal my body. And so I did it primarily to heal my body first. And then once I started to do it on a regular basis, I noticed that it had other benefits as well.
Were you a fitness enthusiast from the beginning itself?
Yes, yes. So I started doing fitness, oh my gosh, when I was studying in college. I needed a part time job. And that's how I got into fitness. When I started fitness, it was back in the days, it was the late 70s. And so it was the back of the days of Jane Fonda and Richard Simmons, who I worked for a little bit. And so I started as a part-time job. And then I loved it so much, it became my full-time job for a long time.
Maybe that's
And then
how you, yeah.
and then I continued to do it when I started working full time and as a teacher, an elementary teacher. So I continued to do it. So I'd work full time in the classroom and part time teaching fitness.
Interesting. So tell us more about yoga. How does practicing yoga help one in life?
I think, well, I can tell you from my experience because everyone's experience is different. Um, the physical part of yoga, just the stretching and what you do for your body is just one part of yoga. That part will benefit anybody because there's always a pose for no matter where you are physically. And that's how when I teach my classes, I always tell them, I always give them 3 different variations of a pose. So I say, if you can't do this, do this. If you can't do that, do this. I'm always giving them 3 different ways of doing a pose because yoga can help rehabilitate. It can help you to stretch your muscles. It can help you in so many ways. So that's the physical part. And then I also incorporate meditation in my yoga classes as well. And so then I talk about the mental part, how yoga can help you stay focused, it can help you reach your goals, how it can help you to reassess, how it's just so many benefits in yoga. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And then if you start to really get into the yoga and practice the yoga ways, then it embodies a whole lifestyle of the way you eat, the way you present yourself, the way you are in the world, how you share your time and your talents with the world.
Sounds interesting. So, what were the changes you felt when you first practiced yoga?
What changes took place? Well, first of all, the physical. I went on that journey, and I tell my students, I went on your journey. I first had to start where I was injured, and so yoga helped me physically, and then mentally, a lot of things have happened in my life, as with everybody. Helped me to overcome adversity, helped me to overcome sorrow and things that happened to my family, things that happened to me personally. It just really helped me to stay focused on what my goal is and what my purpose is in life.
Right. Now, talking about obesity, since obesity is on the rise along with many other problems due to the consumption of junk food. So, how would you like to advise a teenager to adopt yoga as a part of her lifestyle?
Well, first of all, again, the physical part of yoga, in order for you to really practice yoga in the physical way, you cannot be eating all of those things that you know are harmful to your body. Like I said, the physical part of yoga is just one part of yoga. So if you start to do the physical, then you want to look more into what are the other parts of yoga. And if you go through your 7 steps, one of the steps is satya, to be kind to yourself. And when you're kind to yourself, then you know that eating a whole bunch of sugar, processed foods, things that are not natural, is going to harm your body. And so people don't come to that immediately. It takes them a while, but once they get it, they say, oh my gosh, it all fits together. If I'm going to be kind to my body, then I'm going to move my body. I'm going to stretch my body. I'm also going to fill my body with things that nourish it, but is not harmful to my body and not harmful to the environment.
Very true. And also from your response, I could grasp the fact that I think practicing yoga also creates an emotion of being self-conscious, being more conscious about your body and your health. So in
Mhm.
order to completely devote yourself towards practicing yoga.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes.
Miss Perry, you also happens to be the author of Yoga Minute and Yoga Wisdom Reflections of a Practicing Yogi. What
Yes.
aspect of yoga have you covered in the same? Perhaps you could provide a mini synopsis of Yoga Minute?
Oh, Yoga Minute. Well, I first wrote Yoga Minute because I was teaching classes and people were coming up to me and saying, "Oh, I love your class, Anita. I wish I could come all the time, but I just don't have the time." And I kept hearing that over and over again. And I said to them, "Well, you do have time to do yoga. Yoga is just a minute. All you need is a minute a day. That's all you need to start with. It's just a minute, just to be there, be quiet, be do a pose or two." And so that's why I wrote the book. And it's something that I always teach to my students. And particularly now during the COVID shutdown, I was very fortunate enough that I was able to do yoga classes via Zoom, like we're doing right now. And so people would be able to tap into that practice without physically having to be in a location. But just teaching people that it only takes a minute just to be quiet, to do a pose or two, and then maybe during your day you say, "Oh, my back is hurting." And so you pick up the book and turn to the chapter on backs and say, "Oh, this is a good pose for my back. I think I'll do that." Or you've been sitting there on your computer all day long and your neck starts hurting you, so you turn to a chapter in the book about your neck or your shoulders and look at a pose and say, "Oh, this is a good pose for my neck and shoulders. I can do this." Well, you just did yoga. So you can incorporate yoga all through your day. It doesn't have to be sitting in a corner, with incense burning and chanting Om, for an hour. So it's part. It should be part of your life, and that's what I try to get through the book.
Sounds really great. The Yoga Minute sounds like an ultimate guide to practicing yoga. I would love to give it a read, and so do many who is listening to us now.
Oh, great, good.
Now, looking back 44 years from now, how would you like to regard your journey so far as a yoga teacher?
I think I want to. My journey has been long. It's been hard. It hasn't been easy to stay on the path. And I think I can use my experience to help other people, saying, anything that's worth doing, that's going to be beneficial for you, beneficial for your family, beneficial for the people around you, because we're all connected, we're all part of this earth, is going to take some work. And so stay with it, because it can only give you wonderful things back. What you put out there is only going to come back to you.
So, how would you like to recommend our women readers to engage in yoga?
I would say just take a moment and think about, what do you need? What do you need in this moment? Do you need to relax? Do you need to stretch? Are you asking a question that you need an answer to? Yoga will help you do that. Yoga will help you do that. It only takes a minute, maybe 2 minutes. But once you get in the habit of doing it, you won't want to be without it. You want that lifestyle. You want to feel good. And then once you feel good, then you are able to spread that, to bring it out to the universe, to spread it to yourself, to your family, to the people around you, the people you work with. It only brings good. It only brings good. And that's what we need in this world right now, is a lot more good, right?
Right.
Yes.
Also, I would like to add that I think since the beginning of pandemic, many have indulged in practicing more physical exercises, like for example, yoga. Now,
Mhm.
my mom, I think since the very first wave of coronavirus, she had been joining and she had been working with this online institute doing yoga. So
Yes.
she felt, I mean, initially it was really hard for her because she wasn't used to doing any particular exercises.
Mhm.
So when she started doing yoga, she said it was hard for her. But after I think 2 to 3 weeks, she started enjoying it, and she used to wake up like early in the morning to do all the asanas, and so she was really interested. Like once she got the knack of doing it.
Oh, wonderful. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. The first time, I think the first or the second time you go, you're apprehensive. You think everyone's looking at you,
Right.
and I try to tell my students, you are perfect right where you are. You are perfect right where you are. Nobody's looking at you because everyone's trying to figure out how to do what they're doing. And everyone's at a different level. And the more you practice, of course, the better you're going to be at it, just like anything else in life.
Very true. Now, lastly, what do you think this world needs the most?
Um, More yoga, more yoga. Everything is yoga, I think. Yes.
All right. So, on that beautiful message, we have come to the end of this interview session. Thank you so much, audience, for watching the entire session. And thank you, Miss Anita, for joining us today. We really appreciate the time and patience you took to answering all our queries. It really means a lot to us.
Thank you very, very much for having me. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you so much.